Offer valid on standard browsers, US only.
When I heard about Date My Age, I thought, really? But there I was in my empty, quiet house, my laptop on the kitchen counter, and I typed in my name. Looking for a man between the ages of 40 to 60? Sure, why not?
Date My Age is different. With verified profiles, you can feel safe and secure to explore meaningful connections with interesting and mature singles.
Date My Age made it really easy. I could join and view online profiles for free. All of a sudden, my empty house wasn't so quiet anymore. I got so much attention, it just made me feel seen and alive. Date My Age helped me start a totally new chapter in my life.
Find a friend, a lover, a partner at Date My Age. Get 60% off when you join at datemyage.com today. That's datemyage.com to connect with thousands of singles worldwide. datemyage.com.
Welcome back to Talking Shit, where we are talking all sorts of shit. Schitt's Creek, that is. Today, we are talking about Schitt's Creek Season 5, Episode 10, Roadkill. I'm Jess Sterling, and as always, I am joined by someone who certainly can't be held responsible for Tamagotchis. Stuart! Stuart, how are you?
Okay, confession time. Yes, I killed a Tamagotchi. What of it? Don't hate me. Did you have a Tamagotchi?
Of course I did. I am a child of the 90s. I not only had a Tamagotchi, but I also had like an off-brand Tamagotchi that was like a dinosaur.
A dinosaur?
Yeah, I don't know what brand it was. I have no idea. All I remember is that the like container, instead of being circular like a Tamagotchi was, it was like square, and it was like that like transparenty plastic that was red.
Bring back transparent like appliances.
Yes.
Like the old 90s phones, like bring that shit back. That was so cool.
Yeah. I'm with you. I always wanted
says.
the purple see-through stuff. That was the Game Boy Color I wanted. Didn't get it because they didn't have it, and I'm impatient. Surprise, surprise. I ended up with one they called red, was actually pink, people. And let me tell you, childhood me hated pink. Not a big pink fan, so I was not happy.
She says now, talking into a pink mic puff.
I like pink now. I like pink now. But when I was a kid, I was like, ew, pink is girly. I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you gotta go against type when you're a kid. Like you gotta be the contrarian little shit that you can be. Yeah, I had like the transparent, like I think it was a Game Boy Advance that was like the default one was like slightly frosty and transparent, and I used to think it was the coolest thing ever. And I was like, look, you could see the wires.
It's so amazing. Cool. So
yeah,
cool.
Killed my poor little Tamagotchi. It was yellow, and I don't know what. Like, I mean, what is a Tamagotchi? Like a creature? Like
it's a creature. I don't know that they have a species.
Yeah,
a Tamagotchi is the species.
Yeah, and yeah, poor thing just like I don't know, needed feeding every
all
day.
the time.
Like,
they pooed all the time.
I'm like just about getting myself through this world. I'm not dragging you along, buddy.
I do think we have to blame David a little bit because 5 adult Tamagotchis, that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, I think we're really getting into a real insight into David's life of just not being that socially active, perhaps.
Okay, well, yeah, we're here to talk about Roadkill. Stuart, thoughts on this episode overall? Like vibes? Like it? Didn't like it? How did it sit for you?
Ooh, a bit on the fence. I mean, it wasn't bad. It's just we were on such a good trajectory, and I feel like this was a bit of like you know when you're like on a roller coaster and you're like creeping up to like the top, and it just like shunts a little bit, and you're like, oh, it's that. I think what this is.
Yeah.
Still on that trajectory, but I think we've just slowed the pace a little bit for one bit.
I think 2 of the storylines are pretty fun, and one of them I'm not here for in like a very big way. And so I feel like that I think it just drags down the entirety of the episode. This is the one that I was referring to when I said the rest of the season is incredible. There is one episode that I feel is like not particularly incredible. This is that one. It is Roadkill.
Speaks volumes that these later episodes in this season are highly subscribed with guest appearances on the podcast that we've got scheduled in, and yet this one conspicuously just us two.
You know what? Funnily enough, we originally were supposed to have a guest for this episode, and it was Sarah, but I also am pretty certain that she misunderstood what episode she was requesting, and this was not the episode she wanted to talk about. I think she was obsessed with the way Moira says bebe, and I think that when she Googled it, because Moira says bebe so many times this episode, she thought it was this one. This was not the episode she wanted to come on for. So
yeah.
But yeah, let's.
I feel like the world has been spared Sarah quite rightly airing some grievances with this episode. I can't imagine that she would. I would say sugarcoat her words.
Yeah, I don't think she would particularly like the episode about the cat getting killed, but what do I know? All right, let's do a quick episode recap at the top in case people didn't watch this episode. Johnny takes Moira to the spa in an attempt to get her to unwind and set aside cabaret for a day. Unfortunately, on their way there, they run over a cat and do the kind thing of notifying the owners. The owners, however, basically hold them hostage and force them to tell their daughter, an adult person, seemingly, and they want some sort of a consolation, like a spa trip or something in return. I really don't quite know what they're doing besides tormenting the Roses, but whatever. Meanwhile, Stevie and David are off to a flea market to sell Rose Apothecary merchandise. They run into Wendy, who, we'll remember, owned the blouse barn, and her new business partner, Antonio, who looks remarkably similar to David in pretty much every way. Turns out Antonio has been frequenting Rose Apothecary to see what they sell and then make cheap knockoffs to undercut David's business, all without Wendy's knowledge. Wendy is also engaged to Antonio's roommate. So, that's the whole thing. In David's absence, Alexis has been tasked with accepting a package delivery at Rose Apothecary, but her and Ted get into a little game of slap and tickle and not only miss the package delivery, but break the sink in the newly finished public restroom. First the Tamagotchis, and now this, Stuart.
Outrageous. They were like animals claiming territory in this episode. It was disgusting. They were like, haven't done it here yet. Shall we? Yeah.
You are a public setting, people.
With the door open, anyone could have wandered in. Yeah.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Are we starting there, or do we want to get on something else first? I don't really know how we should tackle this.
Let's just get the Roadkill storyline over with. I think because just hate it. I just hate it, and I really struggle whenever I watch any sort of television show and there's pet death involved. I just really struggle with it. Mm-hmm. And so I think part of it is certainly that. I'm willing to say it is a thing for me. I personally hate it. So I always struggle watching any sort of episode of television with that component. But I also just there wasn't that much funny. Where was the funny? It really wasn't there. I don't want to sit in the uncomfortableness of watching the Roses tell a pet owner that they've killed their animal. What am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, I kind of get the premise that they were going for. It's a real kind of fish out of water situation. You've got stuffy Johnny who is doing the right thing, Moira and Moira being Moira, and throw them into an uncomfortable situation with people that they quite clearly don't fit in with, and thus hilarity. Problem is, it doesn't lead to hilarity. It kind of just leads to awkwardness. This really didn't hit at all. I was really hoping for some more, and I'm not too sure what let it down, because I kind of feel like Moira was on top form with the absurd words, her reaction to the whole situation. I was Moira in the whole thing. As heartless as this will be for any cat owners, it was it's the cycle of life. Just leave it. I feel like Johnny is doing the right thing, and I think really, if I was pushed, I'd probably do the same thing as Johnny. But in the moment, I'm kind of thinking, I will be a Moira. I will just drive away and forget about it and not worry about it. But it's like, you can kind of see both situations. But yeah, the jokes just weren't there. Like the Bebe stuff was good. Like the fact that like Moira is calling her Bebe, but the whole setup was just tragically sad. It was so really bad for them all.
I know, and I think that's why this sort of a storyline hardly ever works for me, and it's because oftentimes the pet's death is treated like the punchline, or like we are, it seems like the show wants us as an audience to be like, wow, this lady's like taking it too hard. And I just personally won't ever feel that way. So I think that's again, like it is a thing for me that I just don't enjoy it when I'm watching it. And so couple that with the fact that there really wasn't that much funny stuff happening in these scenes, and it just is it's a storyline that doesn't work for me. Moira like had some moments that I remember thinking were pretty funny, like just because she's Moira and she's gonna do Moira things. But yeah, of course we'd all want to be the Johnny in the situation. We'd all hope we would react how Johnny does and is like, what did I just hit? Oh no, that's probably someone's pet. Like, let me go tell them. I mean, that's the kind thing to do. So good on Johnny for that. Unfortunately for him, they get held a little hostage. And he really is just trying to do a nice thing by being like, Moira, you deserve a break. Let's go to the spa. Like, let's unwind for a day. All of these things are in his favor. I just don't like the storyline, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's let down by just not, I think, going anywhere. But like, props to Johnny. Johnny was doing a really good thing. Of course, it's a situation that Moira gets them into by like forcing the phone in his face and being like asking to like give an opinion on something that clearly really doesn't matter. But yeah, but then also like my sympathy for Johnny kind of dwindles when it gets to the point when really all it takes is for someone to just go, no, I'm leaving, bye.
Yeah.
And just walking away. Like it was, they're just captives of their own politeness. It's strange because, yeah, Johnny has been polite in the past and Moira to an extent as well. But I kind of feel like the pair of them were never as successful as they were in the past life without having some sort of a backbone at some point to say no to people that are quite clearly in the whole situation to leech off of them. Like I would have thought the guards would have been up for this. Yeah, Moira especially.
Johnny, I could see. Yeah, I could see Johnny falling into this trap more easily than I could see Moira like putting up with this for so long. Because Johnny is like, he always is trying to be polite and trying to do the right thing seemingly. But yeah, it just didn't work for me. And I wish it did. I don't know that there's a world where it ever did. I remembered, obviously the title gives a lot away as to like what this episode is. And so I remembered based on the title what the storyline was going to be. And I was like, I don't think I ever liked this storyline. Like I just don't think it ever has worked for me. So
I think they could like perhaps change the whole scenario rather than it being like an awkward situation. Maybe, I don't know, Johnny is so racked with guilt that, I don't know, they pick up said creature and they spend the entire day trying to track down the owner. And in doing so, they get into hijinks along the way. Like,
buy a replacement cat that looks identical to it.
Yeah, like, again, I mean, this is the problem is we say I like the show because it doesn't fall into tropes.
And that's
like,
a trope. Yeah.
But use some tropes to get out of it. Like, just go on the old reliable. So yeah, it's the nature of taking a swing with story. Is that like I'd rather they take swings like this and miss occasionally than to, I guess, rely on kind of well-trodden territory that's been done a hell of a lot before. So I guess it's positive there, certainly. But yeah, absolutely the weakest part of the whole episode. 100%.
Yeah, it's not that great. I don't have anything else to say about this storyline. Who would you rather talk about next? Do you want to talk about the flea market or Alexis and Ted and what they're up to?
I kind of feel like there's more meat on the bones with the flea market stuff.
Okay.
So maybe like the Alexis and Ted situation. The the setup in the opening was so good, because I love these like sibling moments where like David and Alexis are just at each other's throats as siblings kind of are. There was some real tit for tat moments, the Tamagotchis, obviously. I also really appreciated Alexis's little middle finger goodbye as well, which was like top tier sibling just buffoonery. It was so great. Yeah. This hit a lot better for me than the previous storyline, shockingly.
Yeah, this is one of those things that, gosh, if you have a sibling, you get it. Where like you will not forget something they did probably decades ago, but it will always come back up. But it's like, but remember that time that you did that thing? This is sibling behavior at its finest, which is why it works so well. Like, just to have David be like, but my Tamagotchis, like, and he just doesn't trust Alexis. Alexis is like, whatever, David, like, it's just a package. Sure, whatever, I'll get it. And then of course, like, I just watching Ted and Alexis try to do the like role play thing is just so funny, because Ted's reaction is so pure.
It's like, I can't even describe it. It's this kind of dweeby kind of virginal reaction of just have sex, like that kind of vibe, and it's like, oh bless him, like it's just so. I love that it took him so long to cotton onto it as well. Like it took him a while.
It takes him too long. Also, I need to share, like, this is the gift that I sent you, which is Ted's reaction. If you're watching us on YouTube, Ted's reaction to like realizing what it is Alexis wants to do. He's like, wow. Like he's such a little dweeb. I love it so much, because I mean, we know Alexis. We know she's adventurous, right? Like we know the escapades she's been on. So this is probably not her first time doing role playing. She's like, oops, there goes my shoulder strap. Like, then he's so bad at it. He brings up like, my grandma died. Ted, death should never be a part of this. What are you doing, Ted?
I love that Alexis' reaction is just like, ew. And then he's like, I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared for an improv. It's like a genius line. That was. It's just so awkward. Like, and I like, it doesn't strike me as like, and maybe Alexis might have done something like this before, but like for Ted, this is absolutely like untrodden territory. He's never done anything like this before in the slightest. And so, yeah, he's like quite understandably, he's very excited by it, but is utterly useless. It's just so, this is strange, because this is super awkward in a way, in the same way that I think the whole Johnny Moira storyline is meant to be, because you're a third party kind of like looking into something that is just kind of strange and kind of new and awkward and things like that. And so there's something like similar about it, but this one works probably because it's just kind of just silly as well.
It's so goofy, and Ted is so bad at it. Like, he doesn't understand how to role play. I love when they, like, after the first time, where they seemingly do it on the, like, the counter of, like, where all the products are. It's like, okay, listen.
I feel like it started there and ended in the back. I don't
That's
think
true,
that,
because
like,
they did come back
Ted
out of the office.
Yeah, I don't think that they were, like, going at it in... I mean, like a well-windowed
so many windows.
store frontage.
Yeah,
so I imagine
that's fair.
A lot more of that product would have been like splayed everywhere, because like
they need to clean up after themselves. Here's the thing. So they're like, wow, like that was incredible. Like you had some new moves there. And she's like, for you, it's like, okay. So then they're like, then Alexis does the whole like, oh my God, Ted, like someone could have seen us. And then she's like, turned on by that, so
straight into it. Yeah, round two.
He's like, oh, but I forgot my scanner, and he's like, wait a minute, can we drop the whole scanner thing, because it's really throwing me off. And then, like, I just Here's the thing. I'm of two minds. Number one, the sink could not have been affixed properly if it broke from Alexis sitting on it when she is very petite. However, if there was a sink that if you saw that a sink was only attached to the wall and not like a pedestal sink or a vanity sink that has a base that is on the ground, maybe don't sit on it.
Yeah. Don't be fucking on like like hanging sinks. Like, I think that's a bad thing. Like, not only just putting weight on it, but then just like, you know, putting some motion to that weight as well is probably a really bad idea as well. Yeah, I just love that like Alexis was quite clearly being like, this is like, we shouldn't be doing this.
It's
and
so
that
bad,
absolutely
Ted.
was like, yeah, exactly. Like such the turn on. And just like, especially because it was like, oh yeah, in the bathroom that David had redecorated and it's meant to be for customers, but I've only ever seen him use it and he doesn't let anyone else use it. Like, clearly it's like, I wish to overstep that mark. So it's like, one, she's getting one over on David. Two, she's doing something quite naughty. Three, she's getting to bang Ted. So it's like win-win-win.
Win-win-win.
Situation.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Okay. It is a like semi-public bathroom. Like, again, David doesn't really let anyone else use it, so I suppose it's not a public bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't think of a place that I'd want to have sex less than a public bathroom. Like, it's so gross. Like the germs though.
Yeah, in David's.
Not in David's, probably. Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like this, of all places, is probably the cleanest place in Schitt's Creek that they could probably find.
Better than the Cafe Tropical bathroom, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think as bathrooms go in this place, it's probably up there. But yeah, not a good location.
Bathroom. Like you do gross things in there. It's a bathroom.
They're young. They're in love. They're in the honeymoon phase still, where they just bang anywhere and everywhere. So it's like it's acceptable. If they were doing this when they were like Johnny and Moira's age, that's when you've got like questions to be asked.
Sure. I think the real problem comes with their explanation to David. Like, their excuse to David is just so bad, where they're like, yeah, the guy came in, he broke the sink, and then he left a note saying he'd bring the package another day. Like, he was
drunk, Jess. That makes so much sense. He was drunk, stumbled, knocked over all the product, stumbled into the bathroom, broke the sink, and then left a note that didn't make any sense because he was drunk. As lies go, I think this is probably the best one they could have told. But it's still just objectively awful.
And they didn't even clean up all the products that were all over on the counter. Like, this is such a bad cleanup job. And on top of that, my favorite is the continuity of David and Patrick have installed cameras since the robbery situation. And I love David being like, I'll talk to Patrick. Like, he's the one who's doing the insurance seminar. Like, I don't know how any of this works, but I'll get Patrick to get the videos. And it's like, if there is, well, obviously there's not going to be a camera in the bathroom, but like, could be a camera in the office. Like, yikes.
Awkward. I don't even think you need the camera, obviously, in the bathroom. You just need to see them like making out on the table with the product, and immediately you know exactly what's happened.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, yeah. So you don't need to watch it, but I love the fact that it's like, yeah, maybe you don't want to watch those, David.
Yeah. I love him being especially disappointed in Ted. Like, Ted, come on, Ted, what are you doing? You should be ashamed of yourself, Ted. I thought better of you.
No, I mean, I don't want to get too broy, but like Ted needs a high five for this. Like, Ted was Ted was at the right place at the right time, and he got all the benefits. Like, Alexis was the one that was in charge. Alexis is the one that's got the connection with David and feels a sense of responsibility. Ted's just there, so Ted's just gonna have a good time.
I love the before the second time when she's like, oh my God, Ted, anybody could have seen us. He's like, yeah, I know, never again. And she's like, no, Ted. And then she like winks at him. It's so
I love how the total opposites in a way of like how they anticipate, how they react to this, but somehow it works.
It works
somehow.
Well.
Yeah.
Anything else on the Alexis and Ted stuff before we shift over to the flea market?
I kind of wish I've got it open on Netflix, but if I share this, I'm going to lose something else. But the look that Alexis is giving when David's like in the bathroom with them and like talking it through the whole scenario, Alexis just looks like such a naughty little kid of just like looking down, like the fact that she's got the tiara as well and like her hair's like giant and stuff like that because it's meant to be quite messy and everything, but like it just adds to her just looking a little bit more like childish in the moment. And then Ted just avoiding eye contact completely was just top tier from all of them in the whole situation. And I think as well, like this couldn't have hit more unless David was supremely David in the whole setup of the whole situation. Like the Tamagotchi thing for one thing, the like being really kind of like quite specific with the instructions to Alexis to the point where obviously she doesn't care. Like it was just such a great setup. Top tier.
So good.
We're shipping Father's Day gifts with a rapid-fire round of questions. Ready?
Yes. My gift. Can you pack it?
Yep.
Ship it?
Yes.
Guarantee it?
Of course.
Oh, send a set of golf clubs.
Oh, hole in one.
Protect electronics? Dog-proof it? Return it if they hate it?
Yes, no, and yeah.
Are you the UPS store?
Hey, we have a winner!
Visit theupsstore.com/guarantee for full details. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Visit a store today.
This Father's Day at Lowe's, score free gifts for the greatest dad. Right now, get a free Blackstone 8-piece accessory kit when you buy a Blackstone 28-inch griddle. Plus, get 2 free select Craftsman V20 tools when you buy an RP brushless drill and impact driver combo kit. Shop these deals and more this Father's Day at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 6/15 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
All right, let's talk about David and and his time at the flea market. He's there with Stevie and they're selling their things, and in walks in queen, icon, legend of the blouse barn, Miss Wendy, who I did grab a photo of simply because of the sheer amount of jewelry that she is wearing. It's offensive.
She loves a bangle. Like there are bangles on bangles, necklaces on necklaces. Wendy quite clearly has not spent that money from the blouse barn sale very well.
It's all so ugly. Like the bangles almost go up to her elbows. Like it's way too much. The anal beads around her neck. It's all just ugly. It's how her neck must hurt from just carrying the weight of that jewelry. It's astonishing.
It's a choice. It's a real choice is what it is. But such a delight to have Wendy back. Was it last week I was talking about Wendy?
You literally were just talking about her.
Yeah. And I was like, when she appeared, I was like, this is crazy. I think I all caps messaged you immediately. I was like, Wendy! Yeah, it's wild. I totally didn't expect it. And in the way in which it did turn up was brilliant. Like the whole setup of this, where obviously they're going to a flea market, they're exhibiting their product, and Wendy is a competitor with basically the exact same store. Like, what was it? Wendy's Marketplace with Tulip? Woof.
It's the introduction of Antonio, who is like a knockoff version of David, speaks in the same way, dresses identically. David, of course, is like, have I met him? Like he looks familiar. And Wendy not really realizing that that Antonio has been stealing all of Rose Apothecary's ideas, but using really cheap alternatives and trying to sell them. I love Roland getting tricked. Is perfect use of Roland.
So we talk about David thinking that Antonio is familiar. Did you know that he actually is familiar?
No. Who is he?
So time for me to share something for once.
Oh my god!
This is from 3
What are you doing?
episodes ago during Rock On.
Okay.
And why not? They're chatting away, flirting it up as they do. You know, they're lovely like that. And then who turns up in the background?
No.
There, peeking on the left is Antonio scouting everything.
David.
Wild, right?
No. How did you notice this?
I may have Googled it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, I never ever noticed this. What a creep, Antonio.
He was there the whole time.
Wow.
And this was 3 episodes ago. So this is filling me with so much joy because I love things getting teased like a little bit before. Like, makes me think that maybe there was something about Wendy that might have been like thrown in like an errant line that's maybe just remember her. I think the blouse bun may have got mentioned earlier in this season, and maybe that's why like Wendy's percolating around there as like kind of things. But like, I love this kind of stuff, like with that rewards you for being a little bit eagle-eyed. I wish that I had noticed it. But it was, I don't know, maybe it was that whole creeping thing. Because I was like, firstly, so the reason I Googled it is because I wanted to know if the actor who played Antonio was like crew. Because I had done this weird headcanon thing of like someone was doing an impression of Dan Levy like on set. I was like, you're getting written into this somehow. And then that's maybe how it manifested. So I was looking up that, and in doing so saw that this reference was there, and I was like, this is the stuff that I live for.
It's so good. Gosh, this show is so good. Yeah, I love that. So yeah, if you want to go see Antonio's appearance, he's in Rock On just a couple episodes ago. I think it's episode 6 of season 5. So go check out when he's poking around the store. That is so perfect. It's just like the introduction to him is incredible. The fake out of like David thinks Wendy is dating Antonio, and then he's so relieved to find out she's not, only then to find out that no, she's dating Antonio's roommate in their 1-bedroom apartment with mirrors on the ceiling. Wendy!
Wendy! Wendy's so naive. Bless her. Like, she's so naive.
Yeah.
But what did you think about their business model? Like buying stuff from the dollar store and just relabeling it. It's kind of the same business model that David's doing. Obviously, it just comes from a lesser quality source.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, right? Is that people expect it's the same thing, but for cheaper, and everyone's always looking for a cheaper alternative.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's underhanded. It's bad. It's a choice, especially when it makes it more difficult because these are like such fancy, locally sourced products that you're obviously not gonna, it's not the same thing as like buying store brand of something that uses the same ingredients. Like it's just not going to compare. So yeah, of course David's upset. Now, you should also be a little flattered because someone is trying to imitate your product, which is successful. But yeah, I love Wendy being so shady and being like, let's go talk by your booth because it's just so loud over here by my booth with all these customers, you know?
So much quieter over there. Get out, Wendy. Like this is the kind of Wendy shade that I didn't miss, that we did have before when like she was kind of like questioning a lot of David's like choices and things. And also like Wendy is just, in what world do David and Stevie at this point give off relationship vibes, like in that whole situation?
Yeah.
Like just by being around someone, Wendy was like, you dating them, you're going out with them, you're married or whatever. And it's like, no, because she just wants to shoehorn in her own stuff. Like she's just one of those people. It's like, oh, suddenly you can talk about relationships. Are you not going to ask me about my relationship? And it's like, okay, we get it. You're in a relationship now. Well done.
Those people are the worst. They really are. She's definitely like a one-upper. She gives big one-upper vibes. Yeah. This storyline was really fun though. I really enjoy it because of like getting Antonio, who looks a lot like David, who sounds a lot like David, is really fun. David being like pissed off the entire time is so good. The return of Wendy. I love Wendy. She's just like such a character. And I feel like it would have been sad to never see her again after the Blouse Barn storyline. So this show was really fun. Like, it's really good about bringing back characters. So I was just so happy to see Wendy. She's so cool.
Plus, I think that like this probably had the least offensive recurring Roland like comedy bit in the whole show. Like Roland was genuinely quite funny in this episode, while being a bit of a doofus, but like in a kind of way that really was mocking the hell out of David. Like thinking that he'd bought stuff from David was really like made me really like belly laugh at times, because like you could just see like almost like in the game night thing, I think you could see like David's eye twitching, like
yes,
of just the frustration. But yeah, and also like recognizing gel time moist liquid, 100% moist liquid. What the hell is that stuff? And why is Roland using it on his feet? Why is Roland running out of foot cream while at work? I have questions. I said just before then, I was like, actually, it's probably the least offensive Roland's been. No, I'm retracting that. Roland, why are you applying foot cream at work when you work a front desk at a motel? This is how.
Especially because he's supposed to be at the front desk right now. Like, Johnny is on his way to a spa. Stevie is helping David at the flea market. Roland is the one person who's supposed to be at the motel, and instead he's at the flea market buying foot cream because he's suddenly run out.
It's outrageous. It's outrageous.
It's so ridiculous.
So funny.
I love it. Anything else from this episode that we've missed? I don't think so.
I can think of. There wasn't actually a great deal of like plot progression, no emotionals. It was just a bit of a silly one, wasn't it?
Yeah. Unless you think tax seminars are plot progression for Patrick.
I mean, someone's got to do it, I guess. And it's such a Patrick coded thing.
It is. He's
does
a
the
type A.
Insurance seminar. He does the tax seminar.
Actually, David's a type A too, but in very different ways. Patrick is a logistics type A.
Yeah, business type A. Yeah, David's
personality type A.
Like this type A.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into our feedback. We did get some feedback in terms of how Cabaret would work as a play in the town of Schitt's Creek, but I think I want to save that until we get more of the Cabaret storyline. So we'll hold off on that, but thank you, Jared, for sending that in. But we did get an email from Nat. Hello, Jess and Stuart. Personally, this is probably my least favorite episode of the entire show. The comedy in it does not work for me, and it's is more just cringeworthy than it is funny. The whole plotline with Moira and Johnny is just my least favorite of probably the whole show, and there's just nothing about it that works for me. While the Alexis and Ted stuff has its moments, I do think it's probably my overall favorite of the three plot lines. The ending of it and seeing how bad Ted is at role-playing brings it down. I like that Ted's bad at role-playing. The best part of the episode is seeing Alexis and David interacting and how he holds a grudge against her for something so long ago. As you've said many times before, their sibling relationship is just so relatable, and they did a great job with it. While there are some enjoyable moments in the David and Stevie part of the episode, overall the plot line once again just doesn't do it for me. But I do find it interesting that David is so insistent that he has seen Antonio at the store before, because we as an audience have as well. Or at least someone looking very similar to him back in season 5, episode 6, Rock On. Oh my God. Nat is a legend. If you look when Steven and Patrick are talking, you can see him checking things out in the background very briefly from about minute 9:45 to 10 of the episode. So although this episode is, like I said, probably my least favorite of the whole show, it could still make me appreciate just the amount of thought and detail that they put into the small touches of this show. All of that being said, I'm so excited for some of the coming episodes. Episodes 11, 13, and 14 are some of my absolute favorites, and this season has such a strong ending to it. I can't wait to hear you talk about these episodes and for Stuart to get to experience these moments for the first time. Best wishes and warmest regards, Natalie. P.S. I know it's a while back, but if I'm remembering correctly, during the housewarming podcast, you never talked about the comment Alexis made about one of her friends dating Hef in high school and saying it wasn't as creepy as it seems because he was a really young 77, which I thought you would at least have a few comments on. It's so gross.
Do we really need Hugh Hefner to be referenced in? It's rank. Like the more that comes out about the whole Hugh Hefner thing, like it's just
it's always creepy. It's always been creepy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one of these. It's one of those like known truths in Hollywood that no one really talks about. And it's like, ugh, do we have to with that? But yeah, a really young 77 is probably the most vile thing.
There's no such thing. I'm so sorry if you are like the age 77 or more, but there's no such thing as a young 77. You're just
I hate
old.
to break it to any 77-year-olds listening to this podcast. You're old.
Listen, if they're listening to a podcast and they're 77, they might just be a young 77.
They should get out of jail free card. Yeah,
we found the one.
Yeah. Found the exception. That's actually hilarious. I love that. And I love that Nat picked up on the Antonio thing as well.
It's like so great.
This is why I should read the emails, but I try to not so I don't spoil myself. So yeah. Oh, amazing. I love that someone else has grabbed that.
Thanks so much for your email, Nat. And I like, here's the thing. Obviously, I like to hear from people when they really enjoy an episode, but it's nice to know that like we're not alone in us thinking like, I don't know, this one isn't my favorite. Like it just doesn't quite work.
Yeah, it gets tough with the episodes that are a bit of a downer because it's like, I don't want to feel like I'm jumping on a show that I quite clearly love. And I don't want to feel like we're being too hypercritical, like, oh, we're really kind of, critiquing this sitcom that's meant to be like a laugh. It's just, sometimes these episodes, they don't hit entirely. And we've got to make it work because we're covering every episode. So, but it's great to know that we're not alone on this. And that it does get so much better for the remainder of the season. I'm really
there's not a bad one in the bunch.
So hot on this. And no one's steered me wrong thus far, so fingers crossed.
All right, let's get into our ratings. So, simply the best. Stuart, who did you find to be simply the best this episode?
Okay, do we weigh up who was funniest or Ernest? If it's Ernest, I kind of feel there's merit to give it to Johnny. Johnny did a really lovely thing. He took Moira to a spa. He wasn't quite willing to let her go to the spa on her own. But I kind of want to give him points for that as well. But I kind of want to just go a bit silly along with the episode, and I want to give it to Ted. Purely for his reactions, because they were just so supremely funny. And I also want to reference something we've not talked about, which is the pun that he managed to get in, which is, I think it is. Like, genius. You are horned up and yet you can still find time to make a pun. I think that is MVP behavior. So I'm going to give it to Ted this week.
Yeah, I'm really torn on this one as well because I agree with and between the exact pair that you are talking about, where Johnny is doing what I would hope most people would do, and just like even though it's really awkward and really uncomfortable and really difficult, like to go tell the pet parents like is a nice thing to do. And he does try to make it right. Like he's always trying his best to make it right. Of course he doesn't want to go do this. He has a spa appointment. And on top of that, making the spa appointment in the first place, right? Like a very kind thing to do for Moira. And the reason I'm so torn on whether or not to then instead give the point to Ted is we've really not seen a ton of Ted this season. I had kind of forgotten. He's been absent for a lot of the season. And so when we do get to see him, I was just so tickled. I was like so excited to see Ted. And then he made me laugh so much. Like literally his reaction being like, wow, like he's so sweet and just adorable. I love him so much. It's really hard for me to then not give him the point, especially because I really just don't like the Johnny and Moira storyline. So it's like, why would I want to give a point to a storyline I really don't like? I feel like this is the hardest I've waffled in a while. I'm gonna give the point to Ted. He truly, him and his like, wow, cracked me up so much. I love him so much. He's so funny. He's so pure. I just love him.
It really is.
Okay, disgruntled Pelican point time. I think this one's a little tougher because like if we're not giving it to like one-off, generally we try not to give it to one-off characters, right? Like there's so many people, right? Like you could give it to Antonio.
I don't think we can give it to. I mean, technically, Antonio is not a one-off character, but
fair.
We can't. I don't think we can give it to the family because, like, it's. I don't think. I mean, correct me. I mean, you can give it to whoever you want to, but like, I'm thinking that the family doesn't make too much sense because they are such a fleeting appearance, and it's not quite to the level of the Taylors. That's always my benchmark for like one-offs that I will throw it to because they've just supremely like annoyed me to the point where I'm like, no, you're getting it, and I will fight Jess if she disagrees with me. Kind of like, for these, I'm like, I don't even think about them. That's how much they had like little effect on this episode. So I kind of feel like it should go to someone that is recurring, but no one did anything that was substantially bad.
I think I know who I'm giving it to. Because, like, here's the thing. I find Wendy to be kind of a victim. Like, she's like a victim of her own making in a way. It's like, Wendy, get a clue. But also, I feel bad for her, so I'm not going to give it to her, despite the fact that I really think she needs to remove at least 30 pieces of jewelry. I think I'm going to end up giving the disgruntled pelican point to Alexis. Because she had one job. She had one job and she couldn't keep it in her pants for long enough to accept the delivery. On top of that, how much time and effort and like headaches this poor bathroom has been to David and Patrick, and to have it ruined instantly. Like, bad on you, Alexis. Bad on you. Even though she looked gorgeous, I do just have to say. Annie Murphy, just like, she looks ethereal. She's so pretty. I can't. I loved her entire outfit, her hair, all of it this episode, but I can't get past the fact that not only did she kill 5 Tamagotchis, but she can't even accept the package without breaking a sink and ruining the store and desecrating it with her axe.
And can't even tell a decent lie.
It's a really bad lie.
Oh, yeah. I hate to say I agree. I was toying with like, well, if we're going to say that like someone did turn up to do the job, then Roland could be a contender. But then Roland did make me laugh as well.
He actually had a good episode, so I didn't want to penalize him too much.
Like,
you know?
I don't want to jump on Roland. Yeah, if he ever does anything that's even remotely redeemable, just because I need to claw back points for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Alexis, she broke a brand new sink. Like whether or not it was meant to be load bearing or not, like is irrelevant. Like just use your best judgment now. I know you want like a piece of Ted.
Yeah.
We all do. But like calm down.
Yeah. Get it in a different location, up against the wall in the bathroom. Like there's so many other places. Like you don't need to do it on the sink.
Yeah. No, breaking it was part of the whole endeavor. Like she had to do that. That's what did it for her. It was knowing that she was going to annoy David, which is messed up in its own way.
That's really messed up. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, those are our points. Let's get into tier ranking this episode. Hot shit, full bouquet. Love that journey for me. You, David, and Schitt out of luck. I don't know, Stuart. Why are you thinking of winning this one? Because
I was hoping that you were going to go first. So
okay. I'll go first. I'll break it down like I usually do, where we had 3 storylines, right? And where I would say, personally, I think the Roadkill storyline is shit out of luck. I think that particular storyline is all the way at the bottom for me. I think the Ted and Alexis storyline bumps it up because I find them to be so adorable together. Like they're just so cute together. I would put them at like that. Their storyline in particular is like full bouquet for me.
Yes.
And then the Stevie and David stuff, I think, falls somewhere closer to the middle. Like, probably I love that journey for me. Like, it's average. It's funny. It's not that funny. Wendy's appearance probably bumps it up a little bit. So, overall, I think my inclination is to either put this at the top of You, David, or at the very bottom of Love That Journey for me.
That's precisely where I was thinking. And it's that choice of either tier that is making it so difficult. Because, I mean, this has been such a strong season. Do we want to have a new David in there? Like, is this that much of a tarnish on the season? Are we thinking too much into it? Perhaps. I'm inclined to say you, David.
I think I am too. I just really don't like the Roadkill storyline. Like, I just hate it that much that it really does tarnish the episode in a major way, especially because there's nothing in those other 2 storylines that are like, there's nothing like the open mic night moment. There's nothing, you know what I mean? There are no moments that are just so funny or so heartwarming that make up for it. So I do think it belongs in You, David. And I think that's okay. Like, there are so many episodes we really enjoy this season. To not enjoy one of them is fine.
And well, that's the thing is, it's not that I didn't enjoy this episode. I just think I'll never go back and rewatch it. Maybe I'll like find some clips of like Ted and Alexis making silly jokes, but like, I don't think I'll ever go, oh, I really want to go back and rewatch that episode.
Exactly.
Whereas open mic night, I would go and rewatch the hell out of that episode. I do it for a lot of other episodes. So yeah, I think it's just, I think the fact that we were like toying with it being in Love That Journey for me, and Love That Journey for me has always been deemed to be like base level of like, here is an acceptable episode of the show. For it to be like riding the line of it could have gone at the bottom end of that scale, or it's at the top end of like the one below, just says it just slightly missed the mark. Not that it was a bad episode. So
Yep. I agree. And that's where it belongs, unfortunately. And you know, it happens sometimes. But because it so rarely happens, we just
David.
Sorry. It happens so rarely.
It's been a while since we've used that,
Yeah, we almost never have an Ew David anymore. And that's our episode. I mean, listen, you win some, you lose some. It's not a bad episode. It's just not the best episode. Yeah. But next week, Stuart, do you want to hear the title for next week's episode? Season 5, episode 11.
Absolutely.
It is called Meet the Parents.
We're meeting Patrick's parents because we've already met Ted's mom.
So we've met her mom. Actually, in this season.
Who else could it be? It's got to be Patrick's parents, right?
Well, let's see. We've never met Stevie's parents.
I don't think we will. Like Stevie's aloofness as like a one-off. Like she's the only one in the family as well. Like we've had like fleeting mentions of like other family members and things. I don't think would meet Stevie's parents, or unless they're in town for like, I don't know, cabaret or something. Mm-hmm. Maybe they caught wind and are there to support her. Maybe it is a possibility, but I'm still leaning Patrick. So Stevie, Patrick, what else could it be? No one else really.
Unless it's a side character. There's no like main characters whose parents like we are likely to meet. I mean, like Johnny and Moira, like are they alive? I don't know. But how do you think it's going to go? If it's Patrick's parents, right? You're predicting a Patrick parent moment.
Oh, what will happen? I don't know. Like, is there going to be a whole thing of like whether they approve of David or not? Maybe that. They don't strike me like I don't think anyone that raises Patrick is likely to be like, I don't know, unapproving or anything like that. I hope we don't get anything like that whole line. I don't know, maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe they all go out for dinner and just shenanigans come out from it or something. I don't know.
Well, we won't be alone, as we won't be alone for the rest of the season. We have a lot of guests lined up. We'll be joined next week by Grace Leader. So I'm really excited to have Grace back on the podcast to talk about Meet the Parents. It's going to be fun. Like I said, the last 3 episodes, which I can't believe we only have 3 episodes left of the season, they're all really good. And I can't wait to talk about all of them. So it's going to be great.
Can we not talk about how many episodes we have left? Because after this season, we only have 1 season, Jess.
I know.
And that's a very sparing amount. Like this season has flown by because it's been so enjoyable. So next season, like if everyone says, "Oh, it just gets better and better," it's gonna go by too quickly. And I'm kind of dreading it.
I know. I'm thinking it's so funny because right now I'm thinking I'm like, what are the big, not Mount Rushmore moments, but like the top moments that you haven't seen yet? Like how many more are there left? Obviously, a little bit Alexis was like top of my list for you to see. But like even in these couple episodes coming up, I can think of at least 2 moments that like are big that I'm excited for you to see. And beyond that, there are more. Like there's a bunch in the final season too. Like there are a couple I can think of. So yeah, I'm just like I'm it's bittersweet. I'm very excited for you to get to watch the whole thing and have seen all of it, but also like I don't want this to end because it's so fun. So yeah, we'll see. Only a few more episodes of this season though. So it's exciting. In the meantime, follow us on YouTube. We need 8 more subscribers. We're getting so close.
8 of you listening right now probably aren't subscribed. If you go and hit that button, that'll get us up to 200, and we have to do some sort of a forfeit. And the amazing thing is as well, I'm going to say this regardless of who the guest is, they'll have to join in as well, possibly. Can we rope them into it? I don't know if we could.
This is just more of an incentive for people to subscribe sooner so that we have to make the guests follow. Yeah. Also, shout out to our YouTube watcher, Apricot M1086, for being for plugging us elsewhere. That's so kind of you. So yeah, tell a friend, get on in here, subscribe, get us to 200 subscribers, because who knows what will happen. Something exciting will happen. No waterboarding, but something exciting. Okay. Anything else you want to tell the folks about, Stuart, before we get the heck on out of here?
No.
Great.
we are no longer podcasting about The Last of Us. That's all finished up. But if you are a late watcher of that, season 2 was quite a ride. We covered each and every episode, and the archive of that is still up and will be there until we approach season 3 in 2 years time, maybe.
Little while.
We'll see. But yeah. But other than that, nothing else going on. Yeah.
Awesome. Everyone, go check out that stuff. We'll be back next week with season 5, episode 11. Until then, warmest regards.
And best wishes.
We're shipping Father's Day gifts with a rapid-fire round of questions. Ready?
Yes. My gift. Can you pack it?
Yep.
Ship it?
Yes.
Guarantee it?
Of course.
Oh, send a set of golf clubs.
Oh, hole-in-one.
Protect electronics? Dog-proof it? Return it if they hate it?
Yes, no, and yeah.
Are you the UPS store?
Hey, we have a winner!
Visit theupsstore.com/guarantee for full details. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Visit a store today.